It should blind. Oh, I didn't do the update of updated title. Oh, it did now. Okay. It probably shows up as the wrong thing, doesn't it? Yeah, if it was a little... Wait. Oh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't even... Okay, never mind. I don't need to then. Oh, yay! Anyway, so... Um... so, So apparently Stanley Parable 2 came out. And we're going to play that. So let me open up the game here. Hold on a minute. Now, I've actually not seen Stanley Parable 2, so it's been an experience. Okay, good. It's capturing correctly. Okay. Okay. It's asking me for a current. Okay, current time is. Let me get OBS open here. Okay. Yep. Every time of day. Yeah, I mean it's early in the morning, but you know. Let's see. Or could you simply not resist? Give me the correct time again. Yeah, it actually is the correct time. It's now 10:48 though, but anyway. After all, I know how much you enjoy saying this time correctly. Okay, I'm curious how accurate 10:47 is. Choose another slide to find out. Well, a little bit. I mean, it's now 10:48, but you know. Yeah, that looks about right. No. You know, how can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish you had more sliders. By now we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can rent some new sliders to gather data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let's whip a couple of new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot the game. Alright, let's play some Stanley Parable 2. Game seems a little loud. I don't know why that is. So I turned on my end here. Okay, this is fucking trippy. Okay, show subtitles. Content warnings as always.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Welcome back. Okay.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So happy 12th birthday, Stephanie's.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. Stanley picked up the bucket.
There we go. Okay, there we go. So we got the bucket now. Okay. Cool.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Oh my god.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh my god. Wait a minute, does that red cup say I need a hug? Okay. Well, Sam. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press Q to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Okay.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen. Don't listen to the loud man. Press Q for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press K to ignore anyone in your life except me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press J to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press K to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Okay, press H to go home to work, to go home, to work, to home. What? Home to work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Get back to work, Stanley. Oh. And the game crashed. So side note, this is the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Okay, please adjust the slider until the fucking cat or friend are friends. Aww, that's adorable. Adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes number 9. What the fuck? Okay, 5. Smelly face. Document. Got him. Flag. Number, was it? 9 numeral. A Roman numeral. Cabinet. The fuck is that? Is that the commands? Is that the command icon for a Mac? Wait a minute. Let me see here. See, Google can tell me here. Let's see here. Images. Holy shit, it actually is. It actually is. What the fuck? Oh my god. I'm trying to get a good picture here. Oh my god. There it is. There it is. Also, don't worry about the ones up here. I forgot to close those. Oh well, whatever. See? Command. It's that icon right there. Oh, hold on. Oh, I forgot to go into the game here. Okay. Bleh. Okay. Okay, airplane, computer, bell, number 9. Okay, let's see. Phone, B, bicycle, ambulance, actual, okay, text box saying 9. Magnifying glass, cup, trophy, paper clips, or is it chain, and then house. So technically, let's see, please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. I'm trying to need this off. Oh my god. Okay, which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Abukuno, wait, Abu, Akubo, and call, or Scrumptush? Scrumptush. Tush. Tush. Because it says tush in it. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Do you know what time it is right now? I can just look down. Is the time... What? Is the time that is right now the correct time? Yes. What time is it anyway? Oh, it is time anyway. Yes. Is there anything about yourself you haven't told me? Yes. Help. Okay. Come back to visit me. I don't know where you are, so I mean, I can't. I literally can't. I mean, how am I supposed to do that if I don't know where the hell you are? You know what I mean?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I've never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
You know what, you fucking asshole? You asshole! Fuck you!
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Oh my god.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh my god. Oh, that's where it just came from.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
What's this?
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Wow.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Aww.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Oh my god. Let's go.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Oh my god, that's funny. I like that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
One six. Okay. So who's 416? Oh, I can't even go. Can't even go in there. God damn it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Sure.
Stepping in.
Okay. Look at this one. Wait, what does it say? You're feeling money for stealing before you. Oh, okay, I've seen that before. You've seen that before? What's your capricious instinct? Oh, okay. Large room, lots of boxes. On either stairs, somewhere both red and blue. Nearby a fireplace. Private but smelly place for an important person. Okay. Must be a point to this. 5 there be. Just take it from me. Okay. And there's a gnome. Okay. Hmm.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Aww.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Damn. Here we go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Refin bucket. Let's go.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Shall wait. I'm gonna do that one. So is there anything different here? Oh wait, is it right? Wait, which door was it again? Back here? Yeah.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket?
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
What the fuck?
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Oh my God.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Holy fuck. Oh my God. Holy shit, that's funny.
Stanley clutched the bucket
God.
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh my God, it's funny as fuck. Oh. Alright, hold on, let me... Oh. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if there's any... I'm gonna do some endings, but I wanna... Let's see. Okay, so... Let's see, say purple endings explained. Let's see. Okay, there was 19 endings to find in the Stanley Parable. 2013 version. But then apparently there's another 24. And... Okay, and Firefox crashed on me. This was all just until, read all this. That's great. Thanks, Firefox. Okay. Let's see. Okay, they make this guide easy to navigate. We're dividing the sections into left door endings, right door endings, pre-door endings, and new endings. Added with the deluxe. Okay. Let's see, content ending. Well, narrate instructions, but turn the machine on. Okay, it's the original ones. Let's see. See, heaven ending. Let's see. 419, 413. Outside the boss's office. 434. And then computer. Or Stanley's computer. Okay. 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 Let's see here. Okay, heaven ending. I forgot about the heaven ending. Okay, so 419.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Okay, 413. Okay, boss's office.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
There's also something I need to find. Try to grab that in there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Okay, 434.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered
Okay. Okay, 434. All right.
the door on his left.
I'm gonna find that. Oh, okay, we get to check out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
There we go, there's a
Stanley
whiteboard
decided
ending.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ow.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Okay. There we go.
All of his co-workers
Which one was it?
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed it. But Stanley simply couldn't handle it.
Oh. There's one after this. There's this ending. This is the 2013 version. This was in the 2013 version of this, by the way. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll do a freedom ending later. Let's see, heaven ending. I wonder if it would change the bucket. Probably not, I don't think. So we're not gonna do that one. Alright, Ella ending. Okay. Over to staircase, go up instead of down. Or sorry. Go down instead of up.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket,
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly
Oh,
be?
no!
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh my God.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even
Excuse me.
But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
What the fuck? Oh my God. That's fucking funny. Holy shit. Alright. Okay, escape pod ending. Museum ending. Okay. See, museum. Okay, freedom. Okay, so freedom. We're not done yet. You know, I probably should. Should I write all this down here? Series ending. It's important to note that series ending is not available on Ultra Deluxe. If you want to spin this ending original game, you need to go to the prep file. Okay. Okay, so series ending is not part of this. Okay. 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 Okay, now we're gonna do. Okay, so let's see here. Hold on. Open up Notepad. Okay, let me just copy and paste this whole website here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Stanley Parable all endings and how many items there are explained. The new endings from Ultra Deluxe. Blah blah blah. Okay, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe not only allows you to experience the classic adventures of Stanley and the narrator, but also holds some new endings for you to find. Below how you'll discover how many endings are in both versions of Stanley Parable, along with how to reach all the endings. You see more, the guide does contain spoilers. Okay. Blah blah. Okay. Endings are the core. Let's stay purple. Some are funny, some are sad and orange. Some are funny, sad, and some are downright strange. Okay. Okay. I'm just reading here. To truly understand the Stanley Parable, I recommend experiencing as many endings as possible, especially since the Ultra Deluxe Selection has introduced new ones. There are 19 endings to find the Stanley Parable, with Ultra Deluxe containing an additional 24. Okay, so I have a guide here. So I'm gonna have a guide here. And I'm just gonna go through ones I've actually never done. Or rather, I'm gonna go through the ones I have done. And then I'll do them in the order that they're in on this. So, anyway. Okay. Let's see. That was important to note that one of the original Stanley Parable endings is not present in Ultra Deluxe. This means the total number of endings in Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is 42. Okay, below you'll find instructions how to beat every ending, or how to experience every ending in both the Stanley Parable and Ultra Deluxe. To make this guide very easy to navigate, we've divided the sections into left door endings, right door endings, pre-door endings, and the new endings added with Ultra Deluxe. I tried to keep the instruction vague in order to avoid spoilers, but you're still reading this at your own risk. Left door endings, it's that parable. Endings below occur if you look. Okay, the endings below occur if you go through left doors like parable and deluxe. The narrator does offer you a chance to course correct if you want to do through the right door. Okay. Oh, we kept the. Okay. While we've kept the instructions below simple, you're wandering into spoiler territory. Okay. Okay. Broom closet ending. Okay. Let's see. Countdown ending. Okay. Shows the machine to turn on. Okay, we've done that one. Frame ending. Okay. Ending. Okay, heaven ending we just did. Okay. Okay, Mariella ending. Escape pod ending. Okay, we're gonna do the museum ending here. If this is your first time playing Stanley Parable, we recommend keeping among our endings as the museum does contain spoilers. Okay. Blah. Okay, escape. Alright. Actually, let me go. See, Ultra Deluxe. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. 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 Combine region museum, explore your own legion where you're ready to leave, find the hallway, blah blah blah. By sign you'll find out off. Behind the sign, wait. Find a hallway with the exit sign hanging above it. Beyond the sign, you'll find an on and off switch for the Stanley Parable itself. You'll need to interact with to complete the ascending. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's do. Okay. So follow instructions until you see escape.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Okay. All right, here's the thing. I'm gonna do the
When Stanley
the
came
usual.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna do the original Stanley Parable endings first, just to see if there's anything different for these. More than likely not, but we'll see. Stairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Shit, wait, is that? Okay. Just double checking the
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
Oh, that's what was.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
So yeah, again, I'm gonna do the original endings, just to see if there's anything different. But if not, I was just gonna, we'll just skip it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, then going this way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
shit.
he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Anyway, so this is in the 2013 version. I forget how to do that though. This thing is open connection was important to get right. Card has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. In good time. Habits. Chart, okay. Solitaire. Employee database. Jobs. Button sounds. Selection sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard, stroke, and synthesized tone. Okay. Okay, Malzyme. Okay. Based on the work of the 2013 team. The Office. Or a version of Moon's Room. Sherlock's announcements in 20... So for 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of this video we made for the announcement and game's delay. Which actually, what were they? Oh, let me see here. Stanley Ultra Deluxe. Videos? I don't know. Launch presentation. Let's see, okay. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, all bucket endings plus bonus. Okay, Ultra Deluxe, all new endings. I'll do that, but I'm not really gonna look at any of these things. I'm just gonna just use these. I'm just gonna use them as a guide, but I'm not really gonna look at them offhand, because I don't want to be spoiling it for myself here. Um, okay, let's see here. Let's see what they actually are here. Okay. Let's see. Bleh. Let's see.
What does it mean to be a video game developer? It means lying boldly.
All right.
What does it mean to be a video game developer? It means lying boldly and brazenly to your
Just now.
audience, promising them release dates that are wildly outside the realm of reality. And when that promised release date has turned out to be a lie, you double down even harder on the next wildly unrealistic release schedule.
Actually, you know what? Hold on, let me go through this and actually see which ones are which here. Let's see. So let's kind of ignore that. We'll go with the actual order here. Order of when this actually happens here. Let's see. Who's this one? Okay, it's this one first. This one's actually
In the
first.
months since we announced